Welcome everybody to another episode of the Nerd Continuity, where we talk about design, development, and all the other crazy sort of stuff that we find online. Today is a slightly different episode because it's gonna be a podcast interview, or like audio video interview if you're watching this on YouTube. And today I'm interviewing a really amazing digital artist from Ukraine. His name is Daniel. His nickname online is Borodante, and has an amazing YouTube channel. He is both a digital painter and an online educator, and his videos are so entertaining and educational that you should totally check it out. So let's start with the interview. Enjoy!
Hi friends, my name is Borodante and welcome to Nerd Continuity.
Yeah! So, who are you? Introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us about you, your name, what you do, and why you're here.
I'm here because I'm Daniel Sherekin. I still have no idea how to pronounce my second name.
Seriously?
In English.
How do you pronounce it in Ukrainian? Is that right?
Ukrainian, Russian. We speak Russian mostly. Well, not mostly. I speak Russian.
Okay.
It's 50-50. Anyway, Sherekin.
Perfect.
That's how we pronounce it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm a digital artist, but I have an education of the computer science. I'm a programmer.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah. Not really, like on a paper, gotta say. But yeah, I spent most of my free time and busy time to paint, to practice all directions in computer graphics.
Nice.
Starting like with Photoshop and finishing with 3D compositing, 3D animation. I didn't know where to stop really, or what to do. So basically, I call myself like a computer graphics enthusiast. That's the most precise way to describe
That's perfect.
my activities. Yeah, I used to work for a year and a half in the movie industry.
Oh.
Yeah, I was working in post-production, and I started as the animator for pre-visualization.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that a real-time animation
Yeah.
to figure out how to, like an animated storyboarding. But soon they discovered that I can paint.
They discovered, or you discovered that?
Well, I discovered it way before, I guess, before I graduated. But the point is that they made me a concept artist there. So that was fun, a bunch of interesting projects there. But then the war kicked in Ukraine, so I decided I should go somewhat mobile or whatever. So not very reliable things to rely on, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Thing is, after that, I dropped everything and went home and started practicing, trying to create my own portfolio to maybe work somewhere else in a different country. And sooner or later, it turned into just practicing. And then there was this YouTube thing that I decided to try.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah, and it was, I think so. I hope it will be working out further.
Definitely. So where were you located when you were you were working in the movie industry?
In the same city as now. It's a capital, Kiev.
Oh,
Kiev
nice.
city. Yeah. It's one of the biggest companies, really, of Ukraine that's working for the movie industry. It's film.ua.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good. There's no problems there. It's really great company and all.
Good. Being polite with your previous coworker.
You have to explain after you leave the company.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Everybody's gonna think
That was a shitty place to work with. Fucking horrible. Yeah, I don't know. So good. It's interesting that you studied as a programmer, but then you ended up doing digital painting, because it's like those are two completely different parts of your brain. You're like the mathematical brain and then the artistic brain. How do you handle this? Like,
that's a very interesting thing. Like initially, like I wasn't really motivated to go in any direction at all. So I went where like my parents influenced me and all that. So I decided to go in the direction where my brains work well, and that's math, programming, and all that. But after a while, after studying there, I realized that if I can do something, it doesn't mean I have to.
That's a really good advice.
Yeah. So I don't know. With time, I just felt, well, there was a confusion in there in the whole studying process. Like there was a computer design, which sounded kind of close to my thing. I like computers. I like visual stuff. So let's go there.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be more like programming the software for the designers.
Oh.
Well, it was fun and all, but not really what I was going for. But still, it was a great experience, great addition to my knowledge, because really everything I know about the graphics, I learned myself, obviously. There was no really education in any actual
Do you think that that's my personal thought. I don't know if you agree or not. Like, but I'm finding, especially like digital painters or like developers as well, most of the times they don't really learn things in school, and they end up learning more and more when they work or like they try to study by themselves. Do you think that education or like institutions now are kind of too old school and they cannot catch up with the current technologies and evolution? They cannot actually teach important things for your future.
I think absolutely. I think it's not even a subject for a debate.
Because cool. Well,
that education haven't really changed much for a while, kind of. Well, basically, it's still the same approach.
Yeah, that's true.
And the info world of the humanity changed dramatically. So it's kind of, you really can learn a lot more if you want to by just sitting at home with the internet. Yeah. Well, that's a big debate, of course, and all.
Did you decide on purpose to start teaching on your YouTube channel, or it just turned out like, oh, I'm gonna do a video explaining how the 32-bit painting works, or like while I'm painting, I'm explaining what I'm doing? Like, it was a choice that you made before recording, or it just like came naturally?
That's actually pretty interesting. As I decided to start YouTube, I thought, well, usually artists do the tutorial kind of thing in one way or another. But I didn't want to do that. What I wanted to, what I was inspired by as I thought of YouTube, is Let's Play, is what the guys do with video games.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the same thing with painting. That's why I called it Let's Paint. It was the direct reference to that.
Yeah.
So if you will check out my like earlier, like first 50 episodes, I guess, of anything I did, it was just plain Let's Paint one after another. I wanted to do that thing every day, and that's it. But after a while, I felt that, well, this is not exactly working correctly, so I have to adjust and bring the variety. And after a while, yeah, learning is definitely a thing. Plus, I felt like it's something new that I do in a sense that it's very casual.
Yeah.
I try to really just be your friend, kind of. That's kind of thing, because that's the biggest obstacle usually when you're studying something. It's too formal, it's too dry. I don't know. It's really, it feels like it's bothering, sort of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I felt like it would be great to remove that kind of wall and just start thinking together on a problem. Whether I'm I'm trying to figure it out and
Yeah.
you're with me, or I'm explaining something.
Mm-hmm.
The 32-bit thing, well, that's one thing that I felt like I can really bring to the community or something, because I really never heard of anyone like painting in 32-bit mode. It's like in,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I thought it would be really interesting for a lot of people. So that's a thing I will be uncovering more later. I will
Nice.
be doing more episodes on that and on the whole theory of how materials work and stuff like that. I'm really bringing the whole theory of 3D rendering to Photoshop. That's basically the thing.
Yeah.
That's where 32 bits are very useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And I can totally see from your videos that your way of making your audience comfortable, and it looks like a conversation, a chat with a friend that is like explaining you something, and this friend is learning in the process as well while explaining, and it's really nice. It's really easy to follow. It's not stressful. It's not like, oh my god, I have to study, I have to remember all this stuff, it's gonna be terrible. But like following your videos is really like, yeah, relaxed and easy to understand and easy to follow. So you're doing a pretty fucking amazing job, and it's just like,
Thank you.
oh,
Well, really, what I learned in the last like 6 months of doing this, the most important thing that I had to improve is to be as honest as possible.
oh yeah,
In front of the camera. No like prepared or any sort of special jokes or something like that. No like text, like a script or
Yeah.
anything. It should be just plain honest. If you're trying to learn yourself, you learn. If you're tired, everything. It should be just because it's close to a daily vlog. So there's no way to hide anything.
Oh,
You
yeah,
just
that's
have to be your own self.
that's
So
true.
that's the most attractive thing in the end, surprisingly.
Nice.
For the viewer, I mean, it kind of.
Yeah, no, it's really entertaining. I can tell you that. I'm a avid viewer. I really hope you will start uploading daily videos like you did before, but probably you're not doing it because you're super busy at work. So it's kind of positive, right?
Busy at work, busy at just figuring out my own schedule and all. I gotta clarify, I'm a bit of a dork.
Oh, yeah, wow.
So I can just sometimes just lose it and break my sleep schedule and all
Yes.
that. So that happens a lot.
Do you have a technique, like how do you balance, like how do you react when you feel like, oh, fuck it, I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna sleep the whole day, or I don't know, I'm gonna stay up all night watching YouTube videos about manga or anime or stuff like that?
Yeah, that's still new. That's still fresh, how to deal with all that.
Oh.
But main thing is that you have to control your sleep schedule. That's the first thing to solve. Then probably if you feel really demotivated or whatever, in my case, a lot of the times that's wrong diet,
Oh.
like deficiencies or something like that. You run into that because I get into my stuff. It's like I wake up, I start filming, then I go to bed, then the next day I edit through the whole day. It's like batch production. So it takes away a lot of time and a lot of attention from what you have to take care of in the first place. Take care of your health.
Yeah, that's
That's one of the most important things anyway. First you survive, then you do art. So
Yeah, sometimes you can do the opposite, but not for too long. Then you collapse. Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what I usually do.
So you get so sucked up into your art and your schedule that you literally forget to eat and like to sleep and to do like to live properly, like a healthy life, basically.
Yeah, that's the case.
Yeah.
Only it doesn't sound so cool, really. It's just me not being able to figure things out for myself.
Come on, looks so cool. It sounds so awesome. Everyone is dreaming their life. But not really. Do you have a point in your life where you realized like, okay, this is what I want to do, I'm gonna be a digital artist, I'm gonna be a digital painter, or it happened like slowly, kind of like out of the blue, you didn't plan it?
The actual decision,
Mm-hmm.
the most firm one, came about a year ago, maybe a bit more, a year and a half already.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I decided that I actually do concept art and illustration. And maybe concept art is like will be involving the ZBrush sculpting.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was always going for digital art, but I couldn't figure out what it is exactly. So I was really going through the whole pipeline of production.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to rig characters, I know how to compose and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous how much time I don't want to, well, didn't waste for sure.
Oh, sure.
What's interesting enough, YouTube kind of almost uses everything, all of my talents. This is the most satisfying part about it. I really have to be everything I am
Uh-huh.
in the best way,
Yeah.
including the way I talk, knowing English, like everything.
Yeah.
And it's really great. Like you're showing yourself in full picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And really, the whole digital art direction, I took that, I don't know, in middle school yet, I guess.
Oh, wow.
It's been a while, yeah. This tablet that I'm painting on, this is my fifth tablet, I guess.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh,
A
awesome.
lot of experiments.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's pretty. I think it's handy when you're really, really young and you find kind of your way, even if you're not 100% sure what you're gonna be or what you want to do. If you have like a big passion or something that you can pursue in your life, it's
Yeah,
positive.
this always was like the main way for me to express myself.
Yeah.
So it was always kind of obvious that I'm going there.
Yeah.
And I felt like it's special that I have that because most of my friends, they had some anxieties about that
Oh, yeah.
question on that subject. So,
Who doesn't have
and
anxiety about their own life? It's just like living with anxiety. That's
well, yeah, I guess.
So what's your regular, like, average day? What do you do during the day? What kind of project you work on? And what's your schedule? If you can keep up your schedule.
Yeah, I'll concentrate on the day that I would be proud of.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Right now, it would be I wake up, I run on a treadmill,
Oh, sweet.
I have a breakfast, then I turn on the camera, and I film 3 episodes in a row without turning it off.
Holy shit.
It can be recording for like 8 hours, whatever. There's enough space, and I will be taking like breaks for the whatever the dinner and lunch, and then I will turn it off and I'll go to bed. The next day I will wake up again, jog, have a breakfast, and then edit the whole thing. Usually, especially lately, I mastered the editing part a lot, so it's taking quite a small portion of the day. So then I have my free time. And that's about it.
And what do you do during your free time? You
Ooh,
paint.
I watch movies. Lately, what's interesting, I started talking to people more.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm not very social, usually, like, looking back. That's the kind of, well, my character, I guess. I don't really feel lonely. Again, looking back right now, that's not exactly true. And I'm really happy about that. That's actually very interesting. I feel like the artwork, the whole process, like globally, it's changing my personality so much.
Yeah.
I feel very strong about my, not beliefs, but sort of position in life or anything. I think I'm very well thought through in my philosophy or whatever you call it. And it made me better a lot. It's like an exercise for the brain that you do every day, like constantly, and you're growing with it.
Yeah.
And that's what like real art is, and that's where you can see the path of the artist. That's really like the biggest passion there is
Nice.
not in evolving in techniques,
Yeah.
although that's definitely amazing, and I'm super geeky about
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
But the philosophy, the thoughts that you get, they also get as much complex as details on the visuals. And that's really amazing. I feel like I have sort of like well, that's not wisdom, but like I had more time to think on life than people that run around, talk to each other,
Yeah.
and work 8 to 5 or whatever they call it.
Yeah, 95 here.
Yeah, 9 to 5. Yeah, so I had time. It's like it was active thinking on life.
That's amazing.
That's really great. Yeah, I think it's I'm lucky to have that kind of habit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
That's
also, you're lucky to have that kind of set of mind and like purpose in
mm,
going on, because most of the times, like, it happened to me in the past when sometimes I spent a lot of time at home, or like when I was unemployed and I was trying to figure out what to do. Depression was the first thing that kicked in. It's like, okay, you're not worth it, you're not gonna do anything, and you're gonna spend the entire day in bed because fuck it, like, what's the point? Instead, it's your point of view is really interesting because you're finding an introspection, a different level of introspection in knowing yourself and making yourself better in this situation. And it's just like, it's fantastic. Like, I'm actually quite jealous because like I couldn't do that. It's just like really incredible. I need to feel busy with external things. I need to feel like, okay, I have to go to work, I have to do this, I have to clean the house, I have to go out with my girlfriend, I have to walk the dog, I have to feel constantly feel busy. Otherwise, I feel like I'm not doing good things. I'm not good enough.
well, yeah, that's a problem for a lot of people, I guess. And at a certain point in my life, I felt like I'm at the opposite side, the opposite extreme, which is also not good. I'm like too disintegrated, too separated from the world.
Yeah.
So that was kind of bad as well. So right now, I feel like I'm growing as a human being as well. Like I'm trying to direct my art into the way, like I'm creating the community as much as I can for now. I'm trying to give back and to communicate more. And what's interesting enough, what I really noticed recently, that in my artwork, in my early work, all the characters didn't have the expression on their faces.
Oh.
Like there was apathy.
Oh.
Because I was aware of the story that I want to tell. So I was kind of painting for myself.
Yeah.
I didn't have to see the expression on the face because I know what's going on. But that means that the motivation was wrong. I wasn't an artist. I was someone who's painting their own idea for themselves. And the artist, in the big meaning, in the meaning like why artists are in general supposed to be, well, respected or whatever. Like artist is someone, right?
Yeah.
Like in the classical meaning.
Yeah, definitely.
That's someone who's creating ideas and providing them to the society. And that's the part that I missed before. And that was my biggest mistake. I wasn't talking to the viewer. I wasn't talking to people. And I'm trying to change that right now. And that's an interesting new step.
Definitely. So, like, what's your point of view? This is a really interesting conversation because it makes me think. Like, what's your point of view? It's like, for an artist, it's good to be lonely sometimes and just like focus, like closing in your workshop or like in your home and study and practice forever, or it's even better to be open to the world and share. Especially, it's interesting because you are doing art and you're sharing your entire process, and it's something sometimes an artist is is not comfortable with like to show a draft or an unfinished work. Like, how do you feel about it? What's the good thing for you?
I would never believe, like, if I would meet myself like 3 years ago and I would show myself what I'm doing right now, that I would be actually comfortable with this kind of stuff. It was just a big decision. And again, that's basically continuing the whole idea of talking to people. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Like, drop the whole ego. I'm
Nice.
no one. I'm not good at anything. I just want to share with people, and I want to do this thing. Like, let's do whatever we can
Yeah,
together, or you can participate or not, whatever.
that's amazing.
It's casual, and I'm no super or anything. Let's just do it. Let's get better. Let's get better.
That's
That's
cool.
that's the only motive there.
Yeah, that's freaky amazing. So what's like this connects as something that I'm really interested in, especially because I'm trying to get better in digital art and I'm trying to practice more. But what kind of advice would you like to tell someone that is starting or someone that is like at the beginning and it doesn't really know like, oh, I don't know if I'm good or like what should I do? What kind of advice would you like to tell this person? Or if you could go back in time and talk to yourself 10 years ago, what would you like to tell yourself?
What would I tell myself? It's hard to tell. Meaning,
I will punch myself in the face, like just like multiple times, probably.
don't do that. Don't do
Oh
that.
yeah,
Never
no.
do anything like that. That's like a point.
Okay.
Never punch your past self. The point is that no one's to blame anywhere, ever. Like the concept of the guilt, or not guilt, but being guilty of anything or being having something as your fault.
Yeah.
You're only doing what you can in the situation you are with the past you've got and the experience you've got and the skills you've got.
Yeah.
There's no, like, million times you can rewind and repeat the universe.
Yeah.
You will still do the same thing because why would you not? That's the only thing you can do. And what I would tell, like the advice, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Most people that write to me or like asking me for advice, they're usually in that situation where they're kind of desperate or very, very upset, frustrated that they're not good.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem there is, I guess, that thing that I lacked before is that people are looking, like young artists, they're looking at someone who's achieved a lot already.
Yeah.
But you should look at yourself. You should not try to be as good as someone. You should be just a tiny bit better than you were yesterday.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all you need. And it's so much excitement and so much satisfaction when you just concentrate on that. You're getting better, more detailed, more correct in lighting or details every day. Just compare it to your past self. That's the best way to go. There will
Awesome.
be no frustration, there will be a lot of motivation. And of course, listen to a lot of music. That's
Oh,
totally a thing.
what kind of
Yeah.
music do you listen while you're painting?
Oh, everything except for maybe rap,
Oh, yeah.
but it's not exactly like a principle, but I don't know, it just doesn't work for me that well, I guess. But really, all kinds of electronics, black metal,
Oh,
I'm on that side.
I
Yeah.
love it, man.
Yeah, but like contrary to something extreme, I'm also like lately, I don't know why I mentioned this, but the band Muse, I guess I'm mentioning them because they're literally coming to town, to the town
Nice.
next month, and I'm going to the concert, like immediately decided to go
It's so cool.
because I owe them so much inspiration, and not just inspiration, but well, basically that's inspiration, but this power they have,
Yeah.
like intellectual power, that's the most precious thing there. And the way you can follow how the artist is developing their thoughts, if in the beginning they had some kind of talking about their feelings, right now they're talking about society, the anti-utopia, they're describing stuff like that, like what's wrong with everything.
Yeah.
And it's put in a very powerful way. It's like really just energizing. So
Nice.
yeah, finding the right music is incredibly important, I think. Well, maybe not for everybody. Not everyone likes music at all,
Well,
but
who
well, not
doesn't?
at all.
Come on. Yeah,
They're in jail.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
where's the best place for you to find inspirations? Because like your art is really particular. Like I've never seen someone having this sort of, I wouldn't say dark, but really deep and complex, and is, yes, a complex type of really creative art, something that you don't see in nature. Like you cannot have inspiration of your stuff in nature or like watching TV. Like you have this really creative mind that is really interesting. Like where do you find your inspiration most of the
yeah,
time?
that's interesting. Like a lot of people, like my relatives advise me, come on, let's go outside. Let's hang out on the grass or something. You'll be more inspired. No. What works for me is basically like my old school approach is turn off all the lights, wait until all the city will go to bed,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I feel that no brain waves are bothering me
Oh,
anymore.
nice.
And turning on that music that just makes me like my mind is flying away.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a space, a special place where anything can be created. There are no obstacles, no nothing. And that is really that developed with years. You can't just do that immediately, I guess. Well,
Yeah.
I couldn't. So that's an interesting thing. That's like a thing you can summon, sort of.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, kind of, or get there. But
Yeah.
that's like a muscle that you train with years.
Mm-hmm.
So
How do you
that's
handle, like, do you ever have like lack of inspiration? Like you get stuck and you cannot think about anything, and how do you handle it?
I don't think so. I guess I have more of a problem with not physically having the desire to do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's just everything is wrong, everything is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But again, that's the whole schedule problem more. Um, with the inspiration, not really. I guess again, with years, you train your brain to think with images. And after a while, I noticed I just start writing down the ideas and I can just paint nonstop.
Oh,
It's not a problem. Yeah.
that's
When you have
amazing.
an idea, yeah, what's interesting about the channel thing,
Mm-hmm.
when I turn on the camera and I say, hi, friends, and I call the theme that I'm gonna work on, that's it. It's like there's not gonna be any problem there. It's like magic.
Yeah.
You call the thing and it's a law. All the universe is gonna make it done.
Oh,
It's really cool.
yeah.
Like you have to be like, well, firm and strong about what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
and going for it with everything you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that's how things are done.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess that's something new that I discovered. You should be very precise and very loud about what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
to be as expressive as possible.
Awesome.
That will be rewarded,
Oh yeah,
kind of.
definitely. It's
Mm.
like that should be a skill of an artist. You have to be eclectic. You have to like everything you have inside should be visible from the outside. Like you should
Yeah,
just
I
like
really
not
have to
keep everything inside.
get more of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
amazing. That's
sure.
awesome. What do you think is kind of wrong lately with the digital art community? I don't know if you can speak with like for your country, if you know a digital art community in your country, or if your experience with YouTube and the online community. There's something that you don't like and that you think it's wrong and should change.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I can say yes.
Mm.
Because how can anything be wrong
Oh,
with
sure.
the masses?
Uh,
They react the way they're supposed to react. Like we're maybe there's something like maybe something like the biggest problem right now of the art is that art is being blended with production, with the economy.
mm-hmm.
Well, everything is turning into a product,
Yeah.
and that's where the conflict is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, we'll figure it out,
Oh,
right?
sure. Oh, definitely. We're
Yeah,
evolving still, so like
it's gonna be fine, I
we're
guess. I
pretty
don't know. It's
young.
not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to find the common language.
Yeah.
Language is always the problem. You have to find the common language. Um, so everyone will understand what the other person needs,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you create a system that will work. It doesn't matter what you're going for. So you can apply art, you can apply anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the whole thing about the other part of the brain in the programming.
Yeah.
What's interesting about modern art, the digital art,
Yeah.
that's where both parts of the brain have to work 100%.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part about it, that it's really math in art or art in math. It's all together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a powerful and interesting challenge
Yeah.
you get in front of yourself. So, yeah, I think this is exactly the challenge that the society and the modern art is having trouble is with, not trouble, but again, having their time with.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like a huge boost in the common mind.
Mm-hmm.
Humanity, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's gonna influence a lot. With years, it's gonna have an interesting outcome.
Yeah. Totally. What do you think about the speed of consumption? Because one of my biggest problem, like it's my personal problem, of course, with art, but art in general, also like music and books and movies, like every sort of visual art or like sound art, whatever. It's that the consumption, it's so fast that you don't have really time to process and you just jump directly to the next thing. You want more, but everything has to be different, everything has to be new, and you don't have time to just settle down, really understand what you're seeing or what you're listening to, and then make something for yourself. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting in the sense that it feels like it's a change of pace,
Yeah.
but it's more like the change of the rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
meaning there's more product, but there's like people are still people.
Mm-hmm.
Culture is still culture. So we get more product, but it's just dividing the same evolution into more tiny stages. And that's a great way to explore it in a higher detail.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning you should adjust to comprehending this increased tempo
Mm-hmm.
and see the actual timing in there that hasn't really changed. Like you should see the music in the noise.
Oh, what?
The noise of the consumption,
Yeah.
but it's still based on the same culture, on the same people that
yeah.
want the same things,
Mm-hmm.
and they're working for the greater good in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, the sense is still there.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels like it's too fast, but it's not exactly true. You just have to look better.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is something to evolve into.
Yeah, definitely. You said before that you don't have any sort of wisdom, but I totally disagree. You're really wise. You sound like a really seasoned old man that knows a lot of things.
Maybe, or maybe I'm just talking to a wall right now and I have no idea what's going on.
Yes, I am the wall.
Mhm.
How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this chatting with a webcam? Is like
Great.
Oh.
I always felt like talking on my channel, something like that, but I always felt like someone should ask me first. Why would I just keep talking? Really?
It's fine.
Yeah.
You say
So
a lot of interesting things, so just like keep talking, even if no one asks. It's fine. It's totally fine. That's how
okay.
I found you. So that's perfect. That's amazing.
Mm.
So what do you really, really love about what you do? Like in this case, like digital art or whatever other things. What's that thing that
Mhm.
just fills your heart and say, "Oh, this is so good."
That is the feeling of impressing, exciting other people,
Mm-hmm.
make other people excited and impressed.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like every painting, every episode that
Mm.
I do, that's like preparing a surprise for
Oh.
everybody. And the more you feel that way, the better you work for it, and the more satisfying it will get in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like this kind of communication where you're preparing a present, you're preparing something. Before you mentioned that I'm kind of dark. Yeah, I used to be really dark. I painted horrific things. I mean, it even happens quite a lot on
Oh.
the channel,
Mm-hmm.
but before it was like mostly really dark stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And in that at that time, I felt like I wanted to shock. I was like a shock artist,
Mm-hmm.
sort of. Very quiet and shy one, but still.
It's like-
So, yeah, prepare a surprise.
mm-hmm.
And I think it might work in everything. Like, whatever you do, try to impress everyone by being amazing when you weren't expected to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the biggest interesting impulse you can get,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Have you ever got negative feedbacks, like negative comments or like critics, like really unpolite critics?
Critics. No, it's weird. Like on the channel, let's talk about that
Yeah.
first. People were disgustingly positive.
What?
Always. It's so weird.
Disgusting.
Like it's hard to comprehend that. Like, are you lying, you know? Society or something. Well, I mean, I guess it's just that the format is new, sort of, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really seen anyone doing it exactly the way I do.
Yeah.
But there are quite a few interesting channels out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yet again, I guess, I don't know. The point is, no one is really criticizing.
Mm-hmm. Good. Well,
That
I
feels
can tell you,
kind of,
like from the other side of the camera, I can tell you that you're really likable when you do your videos. Like you set yourself in a really human way. Like you don't. Sometimes when I watch a video from a digital painter, like really good digital painter, they look like they're on a pedestal or there's something like I'm better than you and this is my art and fuck it. Instead, like from your point of view and from your videos, you can feel that you're a normal guy, like a normal person. You're really friendly and you're doing something that it's funny and you're having fun. So your audience feels that connection with you. So I think that's why you don't have like negative comments, because yeah, it's really the entire experience is really positive.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Oh.
And that's, yeah, I think that's kind of an important part there to not being an a-hole.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know. You made me think a lot.
Oh.
Why did you do that?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
About this part.
So sorry. And what about like while you were studying? Of course, like during the studying process, while you're like learning, there are a lot of critics. Sometimes a critic can be constructive, or sometimes if you encounter like a really douchey teacher, the critic can be just like to destroy you, or just like because they're upset with you of whatever reason. Do you have a technique to handle those type of critics? Like what do you do? How do you react?
Well, if we talk about the critics to the artwork that's happened for years before,
Yeah.
I used to hate critics a lot. Right now, I really expect one. And well, to the artwork, there are quite a few, especially when I'm doing the paint through, when I'm basically like begging for for the critics and for the comments or for what to add and whatsoever. And I don't know, that just feels very positive. And again, that's the question of understanding, the question of the common language. When the person is giving me a critiques that are very aggressive in any form, you just read what that means.
Yeah.
Because in that sense, the person is not talking about your artwork. They're talking about themselves.
Oh.
Like they're talking about how they feel next to your artwork. That's them exposing themselves. So you're just sitting like that and you go, you want to talk about it? Well, kind of like that. How do these psychoanalytics go? So yeah, you have to just understand people's motives, I guess. There is no place for anger when you understand everyone. That's kind of boring, but it helps.
That's
in the time
beautiful.
of...
That's like really hopeful. That's a hopeful point of view. It's really hard to detach yourself from like reading the critic in an objective way and not in a subjective way. Like, oh, this guy is just attacking me and is not actually communicating something from his point of view, from his emotional status that my product or my art caused him. So yeah, it's really hard to like, oh, he's not talking about me, but it's something else. So
yeah, you have to remember that the product of art is a unit of passion.
Yes.
So there will be all kinds of emotions around it. It's fine. It's way better. Any kind of emotion is better than the apathy
yes,
to that.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Awesome.
I remember my favorite artwork from the way early days was the Venus Autopsy. I don't know if you've seen that art.
I haven't seen that.
That's...
If you send it, I'm gonna put it on top of the video.
You're gonna have to use a lot of censorship around it, maybe. The point is that's the statue of the Venus without the arms.
Yeah.
And it has the stitches from the autopsy.
Yeah.
And her arms are like the chopped off arms. And there was a whole lot of discussion around it that I wrote, that it's about destroying the love by getting to know it too well. Like when you get to know the person too much, something starts to miss. You start to miss out on something.
Yeah.
And everything becomes too obvious. And that's how you destroy the feeling. And the concept of it is like you can't perform an autopsy without killing.
Yeah, that's true.
So why I brought this up is because this was the gigantic explosion of comments, very aggressive ones.
Ooh, tell me about it.
Yeah, I was so happy about it. Yeah, it was great because it really, like, there were people who were attacking from an obvious point of view, like why destroying a beautiful piece of artwork, the sculpture, and creating this nonsense and gore. And the other part of the commenters were protecting it, trying to describe that there is meaning to that and all that. And that's like the best thing that could happen. I made people think.
Oh.
That's great.
Awesome. So like your purpose is basically triggering emotions with your art.
Of course, I think everyone would say yes to that. Any artist, well, in one way or another.
Do you, let's go into like a more deep topic. I don't know if you don't want to talk about it, just say no. It's fine. Like,
try me.
Yeah, definitely. So your favorite sexual position? No, I'm joking. There's war in your country right now, and there's a really like crappy situation. So do you feel like you're trying to be an activist with your art, like you would like to communicate and try to make people understand the situation of your country, of your city with your art, or you're trying as much as possible to stay detached by this situation?
Detached, of course. War is a nonsense.
Yeah.
It can't be justified or dealt with. It just has to be over.
Yeah.
And I more feel like I'm trying to make people not think about it and to show a different type of mentality,
Yeah.
to show how you should think to forever avoid that kind of garbage.
Yes. Totally
In that
agree.
kind of sense. Yeah, because there's no position, like I don't have any position in that war or anything.
Sure.
Because it's not about our beliefs or anything.
Yeah.
It's about economics or whatever. Yeah, detached
Yeah.
for sure.
I was actually impressed. Like one of the first things that I noticed when I found your channel is like the way, like it looks like you're totally like removing this idea of a broken country or a country that is currently going through a war that is really disrupting. And the first thing during a war, the first thing that gets affected is creativity and art. Is the first thing that the government stops investing in those type of things, because are the first thing that they don't care. Like, okay, that's a secondary thing. So your way of communicating, your way of like, okay, I'm triggering emotions, and mostly are positive emotions, even if your art is quite dark. Like the emotions that come from your videos are really positive and really happy. And
Yeah, I'm happy about dark. So.
yeah, darkness is happiness. So it's fine. It's totally cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so. I was lucky enough to basically witnessed the whole war only on television as the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So that's something to be happy about.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say something,
Do it.
but I forgot.
Okay, no problem. If it comes back
Okay.
later, you can write it later, no problem. How do you see yourself in 10 years if like you have that kind of...
Yeah, that brings us back to the question, like when I decided to become an artist.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago, or a year ago, I took the direction that I feel like I just want to do that and just improve in that direction. Basically, in 10 years, I see myself a YouTuber and a freelancer, but on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
I'm totally happy with what I got here.
Awesome.
And that's something very new. And I'm really happy that I can define myself now. So that's great to finally stop searching for a while and push somewhere. So that makes me happy.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like, it's so satisfying and just incredible. Do you plan to leave your country and go live somewhere else, or like being a freelance somewhere else in the world?
Sure, of course. I don't think I have to stick to any place ever. I would be happy if no one would have to do that.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, traveling, living wherever you want. That's kind of the concept I would love to get, of course. Being free from the system.
Oh, yes, the man. There's a place you're thinking of that you would like to live or explore or just visit, or some, like, you have some favorite place?
That's hard to tell. I'm a huge fan of Japanese culture, so I'll be definitely checking that out sooner or later.
Yeah.
Travel through Europe, I guess, of course. The Gothic places with the castles and such.
Yes.
So we'll be checking out that stuff. The United States, of course.
Oh, yeah.
That should be done. I don't know. I actually used to have this pretty solid belief that I don't want to move my piece of meat around the world. Like, what's the point in that?
Yeah. How
I don't
come?
know, but I think just because I was sort of demotivated,
Hmm.
and I don't like traveling as a vacation or something.
Yeah.
I really don't feel like having a rest in that case, and I don't feel like I'm gaining something, like achieving something,
Yeah.
like breathing that air. But everything else you kind of could have seen on the internet.
Yeah.
And this kind of like a programmer guy logic, I guess. I don't know. Or
I like we're on the same page, man. I totally agree.
yeah.
So-
But in general, like if we're talking about not the traveling, but just changing your life by living somewhere else,
Mhm.
that's a completely different question.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what I actually did. Like I decided to leave my country because I wasn't feeling good. Like I pretty much hated everything. And I was like you, like I would have loved to stay in my home country because like
Mm,
leaving everything, leaving my family, my friends and my security, my safety, my language, my main language. Like I
mhm,
cannot speak my mother tongue, like my mother
mhm.
language in this country. But I had to do it to seek a better type of living. And all the things that I achieved here, I wouldn't never thought that.
Yeah, the opportunities, right?
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
the
So
thing.
yeah, it's really tough. It's really hard, and but yeah, it's yeah, absolutely. Totally see your point of view. Funny
Mm,
things, I don't see like I don't really like tourism, like going around and being a tourist,
mhm.
but my girlfriend loves it, so I'm fucked. We have to go
Yeah.
have to go around and do pictures and
I'm
stuff.
pretty sure that will pay off
Yeah.
health-wise or somewhere, somehow.
Yes. Um,
Usually, when someone who loves you
mhm,
and whom you love
mhm.
makes you do something that's not obviously horrible, that's probably something that you didn't want to do due to your own preferences, and
Yes.
you have a crisis in that area, and you will feel a lot better from actually going with it
That's
every now and then.
totally
So it's
true.
like bringing the balance. It's
Yes.
good.
That's totally true. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, you're so wise. It's not fair. Just stop being so smart. No. This was an amazing interview. I learned a lot and you said a lot of like really interesting thing. I think also the audience, like other artists or people like interested in what you're doing, they're gonna learn a lot from what you shared with us. So thank you so
Great.
much. That
Thank
was
you.
good. Oh,
That was amazing to be talking
all right.
about my nonsense.
Yeah.
And I just want to say you have the most amazing hat over there.
The Pikachu. That
Yeah.
what? Yeah, I know.
I
Never.
never
Huh?
actually watched Pokemon, but I
Yeah.
love this fella.
Oh, that's good. It's never gonna be as good as your Viking hat that you put on that video.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was a really yeah fancy choice. It's just great art. To conclude, what kind of artist or song would you like to suggest to the people that are watching this
Hmm.
video? Or also an art book if you want, like
Oh, that's too complex. I
okay.
don't really check out much of the artwork.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't really memorize it. Maybe I just collect it into some visual memory
Mm-hmm.
and it helps out somehow.
Yeah.
But in general, not really. One name that I always remember when I'm being asked about the favorite artist,
Mm-hmm.
that's William-Adolphe Bouguereau.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm pronouncing it even at least close to correct. And he's the from the ones who's dead already.
Okay.
And
Damn it.
yeah, I wanted to meet him, yeah. But he has like the best technique ever.
Mm-hmm.
It, just beautiful colors, work with light and work with the shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you can look at tiny details and it just makes you happy. You just look at it, everything is perfect.
Yeah.
So make sure to check that guy out.
Definitely.
And from music, let me see. Something that would work for everyone, right?
No. Something that you feel that it's something special for you. Like who gives a
Okay,
shit
wait a
about what
second.
they think?
I have a playlist that's called Octagon Sun,
Oh,
and that means that shit gets real there.
okay. It's a playlist on Spotify.
Nah, in my country, there's no Spotify. That's number one reason to move.
Yes.
So I'm using Google Music. I
Nice.
mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I can totally, if you have this playlist, it's public, I can share the link if you want in the description of the video so people can check your playlist.
Oh boy.
We can.
Okay, I will send you the link and I'll make it public. We'll do
Yeah.
this. Okay, so the track I want to say. Ooh, let's go with this one. The band is called The Angelic Process, and the track is called Rid the Past by Dying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, thank you.
It's-
So to conclude, where we can find you online, where you're most active, other than your amazing YouTube channel, but of course.
Aside from YouTube, that's basically only Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So on Instagram, I'm publishing anything that comes up and a little bit of my own self when I'm in a good shape. So yeah, Facebook, don't do that because there's just reposts there. I don't know. I'm really uncomfortable with the format for some reason in there. So that's the thing. If we're talking about the artistic direction, like artistic social network, that's DeviantArt, I guess. There's a bunch of other ones, but I kind of dropped them. So there's just DeviantArt,
Yeah.
Instagram, and YouTube. Those three things.
Awesome. And last question.
Uh-huh.
Where is your name, like your nickname, coming from? Borodante.
Oh yeah, I mentioned it once in a very old episode. Well, my actual nickname is Dante initially. Inspired, I want to say, by the comedy of Dante Alighieri, but actually it's inspired by Devil May Cry, of course.
Yes, absolutely. That's I thought about that the first time. Definitely.
I recently horrifically discovered a huge resemblance between my look and the Dante from the DMC5. I almost look like him right now, and it's terrifying. So the main part is Dante, and Boro is Boro da, means the beard, which I kind of used to have, and kind of still have a little bit.
Yeah.
So Boro da plus Dante. There you go, Boro Dante.
Sweet. That's amazing.
I just wanted to drop some of my artistic ego
Yeah.
with the whole Dante thing and bring in something funny and silly. And this was my like new creed there.
Nice.
Also, an interesting little detail. As I did that, somewhere in that period, I stopped putting my name on the artwork. You never see Borodante on the artwork. I never sign it.
That's true.
Because that's one of the things that I wanted to drop. Like, whatever, let's not ruin the picture with some signs. If you want, you find me, it doesn't matter. It's like idea is more important than my name or anything. It's like, again, it's a part of this position
Oh,
I
that's
have.
amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time again. It was just a blast. It was really, really amazing. I learned a lot.
Thank you so much for paying interest to my own self.
I will recommend your channel. So I will recommend your channel to everyone that asks, and definitely it's just totally worth it. Check it out. So
Thank you.
Thank you
I'm
again,
not
Daniel.
Embarrassed to appreciate that.
Come on. Well, have a good night, and I can't wait to see another painting of yours.
Thank you. I actually filmed just before this interview, a new episode, so wait for it. And have a good day, right?
Yes.
Your your day is ahead.
Yes, exactly. And I'm already tired and I want to go to sleep, but it's fine. Okay.
Check your diet.
Yes. Good advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, man. Bye.
Bye.